Welcome to online class children. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Today we'll discuss other important terms of the coordination compounds. Okay. So already we discussed about what is meant by coordination complex and how it is formed by Lewis acid and Lewis base. Okay, because it is the product of Lewis acid and Lewis base, right? So Lewis acids will accept a pair of electrons and Lewis bases will donate a pair of electrons to form a coordination complex, right? And then the central metal atom, ligands, coordination number, coordination sphere. In that, we have discussed about central metal atom. And the second part about the ligands, we were discussing. In that, the different ligands, that means unidentate ligand, checked how it will be forming bond between the central metal atom and the donor site. And the didentate ligand, ethylene diamine, has two donor sites. Then we discussed about polydentate ligand, it has several donor sites. And chelate ligand. This is what our topic today. We have to continue from that. Okay. So chelate ligands. If you take chelate ligands, they are the ligands, okay, in which two or more donor atoms to bind a single metal ion, okay, a didentate or polydentate ligand. Sometimes the didentate ligand also will involve in this chelation, okay. So two or more donor atoms be present in that chelating ligands and then form bonding between the central metal atom and the donor site. Okay, so the example, we have a complex ion formed between ethylene diamine and cupric ion. Here two complexes are there. That means ethylene diamine is a complex which is acting as a ligand here, and the ion, cupric ion, being the central metal atom. Okay. Now, if you check this complex, see copper is first. That means this is what the central metal atom here. And ethylene diamine is the ligand attached with this copper metal. Okay, here two nitrogen atoms are there and each nitrogen atom contains a pair of electrons. And these pair of electrons will be donated to this copper, okay, and then it forms complex compounds, even this too, right? Copper will be taken. Okay, so the charge of this complex will be 2+, right? So the chelating ligand will have more than two donor sites also sometimes and then donate electrons. Okay, we'll see detail. We'll check detail in the next session. Okay, I'll be teaching you how this chelation will take place, right? Okay. And the next is about denticity and chelation. So what is denticity? Here, denticity is nothing but the linkage, okay? The linkage formed by the ligands to the central metal atom. And chelation is nothing but the ligands, chelate ligands are getting attached to the central metal atom. So in a multidentate ligand, which means a polydentate, that means a single ligand will have many donor sites. Okay, so in that case, multidentate ligand simultaneously, this is a very important term here, okay, simultaneously coordinate to a metal ion by more than one donor site. Okay, usually in polydentate ligand, so many donor sites will be there. More than two donor sites will be there. So it is not that only one donor site will involve in bonding first and then the next donor site. Simultaneously, all the donor sites will get combined with the central metal atom. Okay, so that we'll be getting a ring structure. And that ring structure is actually called as chelate ring. Okay, and the ligand which is involved in this chelation is called chelating ligand. Is it clear, children? In a multidentate ligand, when the ligand contains more than two donor sites, all the donor sites are ready to donate their electrons to the central metal atom. Simultaneously, they'll get bonded with the central metal atom. Okay, so that we'll be getting a ring structure. Okay, and that ring structure is actually called as chelate ring. And the ligand which is involved in this process is called chelating ligand. Okay, and the number of such ligand which are ligating with the central metal atom indicate that the denticity of the ligand. Okay, so the number of such chelating groups means what? Ligands which are involved in chelation. That means what? Simultaneous bonding with the central metal atom. Okay, it's called denticity of that ligand. And the next category is ambidentate. This is the fifth category of the ligand. In this case of ambidentate ligand, both the atoms are the donor sites. Okay, both the atoms present in this ambidentate ligand will be the donor sites. For example, we have two examples here. In first example, nitrogen and oxygen, we have two atoms. So if you take nitrogen, nitrogen contains a pair of electron, lone pair electron, whereas oxygen contains two pair of electrons, lone pair electrons. Okay, so these two lone pair electrons of oxygen can also bonded with central metal atom, and the pair of electron which is present in nitrogen can also be bonded. Okay, so both the donor sites can involve in ligand formation with the central metal atom. That means complex will be formed. And in the second case, this is called thiocyanide. Okay, so here we have two donor sites. What are the donor sites? Sulfur is a donor site as well as cyanide. In case of cyanide, nitrogen is the donor site. You understand? So, in ambidentate ligand, both the atoms in that ligand will be acting as the donor sites, which donate electron to the central metal atom. Okay? And next one is coordination number. This is a very important term to be discussed. The coordination number, because this will be asked in your attitude, that means in your NEET exams, JEE exams. Okay, so it is very important to know about this coordination number. And one more important term is oxidation number also. Will be asked in 1 mark in your examinations. Okay, board examination. So coordination number. What is coordination number? The total number of ligands, right? The total number of ligands. Ligands in the sense what? It may be a neutral molecule or a negative ion, right? So the total number of ligands attached to the central metal atom. For example, let us take a complex of cobalt. Okay, for example, in a complex of coordination, this is cobalt. With that cobalt, have complex, that means ligand, which is neutral in nature, ammonia. And then even fluorine also it is attached to it. Okay, 5 molecules of aluminum and 1 plus anion. Okay. So in this case, ammonia neutral molecule. Whereas fluorine, this fluorine is negative. And the ion, right, this is outside this sphere called what? Anion. Anion. Now, this copal atom, which is bonded with 5 and 1, so totally 6 ligands are attached to copal. Okay, inside this. If the ligands are present inside the sphere, then they are called as what? Coordinating group, because they are directly bonded with central metal atom. Okay, so now actual coordination number of this copal 5 and 1 6 ligands are bonded directly. That is the actual coordination number. Okay, and the next one is coordination here. Just now I told you what is coordination here. And now it is what is coordination here and how can it be defined? The central metal atom or ion attached to the ligand, which are enclosed, okay, closed square bracket, collectively called as coordination, right? Okay, so let us take in a complex we have nickel as a central atom, which is bonded with 4 carbon. Okay, now this is exactly the coordination. Okay, in some cases, say, some cases we have the complex on the left hand side and cation on the right hand side, and sometimes that is anion on the right hand side. In some cases, cation will be present on the left hand side and the complex will be on the right hand side. That cases, let us see, for example, K4FeN6. Okay, this is the complex, which are all the things written in the square bracket. We call this coordination. Now, this complex, right, is coordination. Okay, and what is this? This cation of this complex. Clear, children? And the next one is coordination polyhedron. So polyhedron, nothing but different structures due to the different arrangement of the glands around the central metal atom. Okay, so the spatial arrangement of the ligand atoms or ions which are directly attached. How they can be attached? Directly, okay, to the central metal atom or ion. Actually called as coordination polyhedron about the central metal atom. So if we take the polyhedron, we have different representations of the polyhedron. Okay. For example, in first case, around the central metal atom, there may be 4 ligands attached as a square planar. Square planar. 4 ligands will be there. All the 4 ligands will be arranged as a square planar. Square donor. And the next complex, it is not that only four ligands will be attached to the central metal atom. We have more than ligands also. Okay. In that case, metal atom will be attached to the six ligands. Okay. One, two, four, five, and six. Right? And this is called as even, this is a sphere. Now this is a sphere. Okay. And outside this sphere, we have some anions, negatively charged anions. Okay. So such complex is called octahedral. Octahedral. And one more example also we have, because these three polyhedrons are very common in coordination complex. In this complex, like methane, the central metal atom will be arranged, that is located in the middle, and then three ligands, okay, and one out. Okay, this arrangement of the ligands to the central metal atom called tetra, tetra. Here, okay, so these three are the polyhedron, different polyhedron of coordination complexes, right? Next, oxidation number. Okay, oxidation number, which is otherwise called as oxidation state or the charge on central metal atom. Okay. So here in this case, oxidation number can be otherwise called as oxidation state, which is actually the charge on the central metal ion or atom. Okay. So how can it be defined? It is actually the residual charge that appears on the metal atom. When the residual charge will be appeared on the central metal atom, when all the other atoms, okay, what the other atoms refers here, they are negatively charged ions, negatively charged ions or neutral orbitals around it. Okay, when they are removed from the atom, central metal atom, then the actual charge changed by the central metal atom is actually the oxidation number, right? So let us check that. For example, in this complex, okay, cobalt is a complex here. Now we have 5 ammonium and 1 fluorine atom in it, and the remaining 2 chloride will be as counter ion. Now, how to calculate this oxidation number? You know the method. Again, let me use that. As we are going to find the oxidation number of this, is taken as X. So X plus how many ammonia molecules are here? 5 molecules. The number of ligands into the oxidation state, okay, or the charge of the ligand. Actually, it is a neutral molecule, so the charge of the is 0. Thus, how many chloride are there? Only one required, and charge is -1. And how many counter ions are there? Counter ions are there. Thus, 2 into -1 is charge of that, right? So, X -1, and there is no charge on the complex. Let it be okay. X -1 minus 2 equal to 0, and X -1 is equal to 2. Okay. minus 1 is equal to, then X is equal to plus of the number of the central metal atom. Is it clear for you? Next, what are the conditions to be noted when examining the oxidation number? Actually, there are two conditions to be noted. Examine the coordination number. First one is sum of charge of the constituent equal to 0 if the constituent is neutral. Okay, for example, let us take a nickel compound where nickel is bonded with carbonyl. Okay, actually carbonyl is a ligand whose charge is 0. Okay, so if the constituent charge is 0, then the complex becomes non-electrolyte. Here it cannot be positive and negative, right? And then second point that anionic or cationic complex. Okay, the sum of charges of the constituent equal to charge of the coordination sphere. Okay, for example, let us have K3 FeN, right? So to determine the oxidation state of this, easily we can determine with the help of the cation which is friend. Okay, now we have, if it is getting differentiated, we'll be getting A plus ion, and then the complex of F, right? Now how many cations are here? 3. So the actual charge of this complex will be minus. Cations are there, so charge ions are there. So this is anion now, isn't it? Complex is anion. As it is anion, the negative charge will be carried by the coordination sphere. Now, how to find this oxidation state of C plus? You can identify that this takes oxidation state of some. Okay, so these two conditions you have to follow when examining the oxidation number, right? And next one is the homoleptic complex is a very important term because we have to identify the complex first, then only the type of ligands can be determined, and also it will be very helpful for us to just check the other properties of the complex. Okay, so what is mean by homoleptic complex? It is nothing but a complex in which a metal atom is bound only one kind of means identical ligand. Okay, that case the complex is called as what? Homoleptic complex. So identical donor means identical ligand, right? A, okay, donor group, right? For example, let us take a complex which contains iron, okay, which is its cyanide, either in the square planar structure or the square planar, or if you have complex type iron with cyanide. So if you check the ligand, all are cyanide. There is no other ligand around. Here, So identical ligands are around even in the city. So that such type of compound is called homoleptic complex. Okay. Now heteroleptic is just opposite to the homoleptic complex. So how it is getting different, how it is differentiated from the homoleptic complex. Here in this complex, the metal is bound to more than one kind of group. Then only it is called as heteroleptic complex. For example, let us have chromium. With this chromium, we have and then in this case, it's called as heteroleptic complex. Clear, children? Okay. So today we have learned the other important terms of the coordination complexes, right? So let us begin our session with how to calculate the oxidation number of central metal atoms tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting session tomorrow, children. Thank you.